I am creating my healthy money story,
Hello,
a wealthy
hello.
glory. My vibe is my
Come
currency.
on
Money
in,
comes to
everyone.
me
We are
whether I
jamming
work
this
for it or
morning. Who do
not.
we have with
That
us
feels so
live?
good to say.
We have
I
Valerie,
walk into
Brandy,
situations
Mary,
designed to serve me.
Debbie,
I stay in the flow of
Tracy,
serendipity. I
Mama,
think, I feel, and then I
Kayla,
experience.
Cheryl.
I am a
I
master of
love
money.
it.
With
Okay,
my words
can you all
and
hear my voice okay
actions,
over the
I can
music?
open
Is it
and
okay? Okay.
access
So
large
this
streams of
song
wealth
is
and income.
it's called
I keep
Ye's
my mind
Coins.
focused
It's
on what I
Tony Jones,
desire.
who actually
I
performed
enjoy
live
multiple
at our
streams of
10.4 retreat
income.
this year. It was so
I
much
enjoy
fun.
multiple
We're just going to
streams
have
of
fun and
income.
listen for a
I
minute. And while
enjoy
we're listening,
multiple
I
streams
would love
of
for you to type
income.
in the chat.
And
What are
what's
you
so
most
bossy
excited
is I'm
today
experiencing it
when it comes
before
to
it
money?
gets
What are you
here
most
in this
excited to talk
realm.
about,
I
learn,
release
up
all fears of
level?
money.
We want to hear
Thank you
from you.
to
So
all
I'm going
my
to be checking
limiting
the chat.
childhood
I'm going to be
stories about
jamming.
money. I love you
Let's
and I
see
release
here.
you
I'll put the
forever.
prompt
My
in
bank
there.
account never seems to
Okay.
stop growing.
What?
Who taught me scarcity? Who taught
Excited
me lack?
to
Who taught me
you today.
unworthiness of financial stability,
Money.
wealth
All
generating
right. So
energy,
type in the
and
chat.
lavish abundance?
What are we
I
most
ask the
excited to
necessary
dive into today when
questions
it comes
to
to money?
dismantle what I am believing about my coins. Look at me. I'm a whole yes to my coins. Hey. More money, more money,
Mindset
no
around
problem, no
money.
problem.
Uh-huh.
More
I
money,
love
more
it.
money, no problem, no
I
problem.
got that
More
for you
money,
in
more money,
spades.
no problem, no problem. More money, more
Let's see
money,
what
no
else.
problem, no problem. My energy is my
We have
money
people's
vault.
stories of
Although
claiming
I'm a human
dreams.
dealing
I
with
love
human
that.
challenges, I am conscious enough to
Energy.
manage my vibe and root
Change my
into my
limited
center
beliefs
no
around money.
matter the
Yes.
challenge,
Okay.
no
I love
matter the
it.
seeming lack,
We're
no
going to do
matter
that.
the amount I attract, my needs will
Who else? Let's
always
see a couple
be
more.
met. Thank you to all the companies that build me. I am grateful for your
I experience
services
a rhythm
that
that
contribute to my everyday
Ooh,
life.
like that.
I guard myself. I
Liz
disarm
said it's
my
possible to
mind
change
and
limiting
I
beliefs at
allow
any season
love
of
to
life.
conquer
Yes.
power games with
Never
money.
too
I
late.
love hearing myself laugh at seemingly
Never
lack.
too late.
Like
Ways to
me
expand my
and lack, it's
capacity
a
around
joke. It's
belief around money.
humorously
Excited to learn
impossible.
how I can't
I am
go
only
wrong. Oh my
responsible
gosh,
for the
Debbie. I
energy I
love
put
that.
out. I am not
I love
responsible
that so
for how
much.
others receive it
I
because I am getting
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop that. But what I wanted to say with Debbie, with what you said, I was literally this morning meditating on you can't mess it up. Like you can't mess it up. And I think this is something where, especially for women, we have such a we can, and I don't think we have to buy into this because I don't anymore. But we can have such a paradigm that holds us back of like, if we mess it up, especially with money, like the whole world is going to fall apart and it's not safe to mess it up. And I had to make sure we're recording here. I had a mentor a while back give this analogy of like anyone who is a successful 5-star chef, they've got to make some really yucky meals the first couple times. Like they're going to serve some bad meals. Anyone who's a successful musician, they're going to play some wrong notes. So why do we get so concerned that we can't mess it like that it's not safe to make a quote unquote mistake with money? And that is actually grounded and rooted in the inherent belief in scarcity and the inherent belief in lack, and that the flow will not continue. So we're actually going to talk a lot today about the energy of flow and circulation, because when you're in that energy, you're like, you really can't mess it up. Sure, there are times when we do something and we're like, maybe I wouldn't do that again next time. I had an investment over the past year. It was a $60,000 investment. And it was like, it didn't end up being the thing I thought it was going to be. But I got some lessons and learnings out of it that I am using intentionally to help me up level into my next level. It's like, it doesn't matter, right? So when we create this certainty and this knowing and this groundedness within ourselves, that it is safe to circulate money, it is safe to receive, it is safe to give, it is safe to flow it out. And I'm going to talk today about how I've made that transition in my own life from like constant worry, constant scarcity, constant fear, realizing that it actually had nothing to do with money, into a place where I am very grounded in I am abundant at all times, and money just is. And it's a beautiful way of being. And it was not an overnight journey for sure. So wherever you are on the journey is perfect. But that is when I think about really like the core, there's a lot of things I love teaching women. One of the biggest like core things that I love just seeing women up level in is stepping into that ownership of abundance in your life, whatever that looks like for you, right? It's going to be different for every single woman. It's going to be different for every single woman here. And that's part of why our programs serve you at different levels along your journey too. But we're going to get into all of it today. I want to start though, before we get into all things money, I was reading some of your homework journaling sessions in the Facebook group this morning. And I was literally crying because they were so beautiful. Just the clarity. Who here, and whether you shared it in the group or not, doesn't matter. Who here felt more clarity on what would and would not get your time and your energy with that exercise? Okay, I love the hands raised. I would actually love, so again, we're going to have more time tomorrow. I think we'll have some time today. I never want to guarantee that because sometimes I get excited and I like go long. So I don't know. We will have time tomorrow. But I want to open it up now before we get into any training to actually hear from a couple of you on what showed up, what shifted, what spoke to you, what was clarifying. And you can literally just raise your hand and come off mute. The women who are already in our programs know, like, we love to share and also share and speak unapologetically here. It helps inspire others, and it also helps others clarify what they want and what they desire. And it's also a very safe community to be unapologetic about what is showing up for you. Debbie, I saw you said I did. I know you're not on camera. If you want to, do you want to come off mute and share a little bit of what was clarifying for you?
I'd be happy to. I'm half naked here, but if you don't mind, I'll just share that.
Come as you
It,
are. It's all good.
thank you. um, I just wanted to share that I realize that I'm a writer and I go to my writing to get clear, but I really did have a profound feeling as I took your questions, and I just made like a little sanctuary for myself. I made a cup of tea. I got in a quiet place with the home. I was with the sunset, and I just went, if you were going to decide something, Debbie, if you were going to decide something and you just knew you couldn't go wrong, what would you decide? And the first thing I wrote down was 50K Club.
Ooh, look
Yeah,
at
that was the
you.
first thing I wrote down. And then I went, okay, and why? And all this desire just poured. It just poured out of me. But what surprised me was it was just how I want to give
Yeah.
my brand. And I think I've been afraid that I could go wrong and end up being really selfish in the process, and that some little strand of evil that I don't know about myself will come forward and it'll all go bad. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any of that yesterday, and I realized that that was just another wicked mechanism of my brain going, gosh, I'm trying so hard to keep you safe. Let's see if I can turn you into a monster, and then you won't follow your real dreams. And boy, that was so helpful. It was so helpful for me to go, no.
Wow.
No, I will not become a monster. I That is so far from the truth. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Wow.
So it just a really, really um lovely thing that you set in motion with your questions. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And your awareness there too of the stories our brain will tell us about, like, if you have more, you're going to be greedy, you're going to be evil, right? Who else has had that show up as like a glimpse of a judgment on themselves? we're going to talk a lot. Like, I love, Debbie, how you dismantled that. And also I think how you had the clarity, that came with just that question, like, no, like, this is BS. What was I going to say? Oh, but we're going to talk about the energy of money a lot today. It's just a tool. It just is. It's agnostic. It has no inherent good or bad energy in it. It just is. Now, and it's just like, again, to kind of use the cooking analogy, it's 11:11. To use the cooking analogy, it's a knife, right? So a knife in the hands of a 5-star chef creates a beautiful meal for people to enjoy. A knife in the hands of a murderer does something different, right? So it's not going to change who you are. It's just going to amplify who you already are. It's just an amplifier. Okay. So everyone, like, if you check in with yourself and look at, like, we will buy into lies about ourselves. We'll have someone say, like, oh, you're selfish, or oh, you're this or that. And anyone something says to you about you, it's actually about them. It's not about you. But if we buy into it, like, yeah, we may need to clean up a little bit of that limiting belief about ourselves. I know, because you're here, your soul is so good. I think everyone's soul is good at our core. I really do. But who here would love to have more, to be able to do more good in the world? Right? I mean, I know that about this community. And so there's nothing helpful to the world. There's nothing good for the world. There's nothing good for you about you staying small and playing in lack, or playing in not enoughness, and buying into any stories of, ooh, do I want too much? Ooh, am I greedy? Whatever the story is, you are, we'll do a little money talk right now, and then I'll open it up for more feedback from yesterday. But you are scientifically, energetically, you are wired for expansion. The whole universe is constantly expanding. This is science. All right. Are you part of the universe? Yeah, I'd be curious to meet someone who's not, right? We're all part of it. Energy is always expanding. So because of that, you also are constantly going to want to expand in your life. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you're meant to be. All right. And we're going to talk today about, there's a different energy between wanting more money because you think then you'll be safe or good enough or validated. That's why I used to chase money, because I made it my God. And I was like, then I'll be good enough. Then I'll be safe. Then I'll be worthy. That's not what I'm talking about here. And actually, many members come into our community with some of that wiring, because it's almost universal that people are taught that about money. What we're going to do, and what we do with our clients, is coming from a place of so much inherent worthiness and so much inherent self-love, and you being good enough right now as you are. Nothing to change, nothing to fix, nothing broken. You are already perfect. From that place, we have fun seeing, how expansive am I willing to let my life get? Remembering that it's this one life experience that you get in this body, in this iteration, as far as we all know. And so from that place, what would I love to experience? And it really is about that move from the survival conditioning, which is what runs many of our lives until we wake up and realize we're all going to die someday. Why are we trying to avoid it? And move into thriving, which is, how good am I willing to let my life get? Because it's all up to you ultimately. So a bit of a tangent there, but Debbie, thank you for that. And we are excited to have you in the 50K club. I'm like looking at you on my screen. So amazing. Who else had something show up yesterday in the journaling? I'm really, Brandy, do you mind if I ask you to share? I'm like, I want to hear from you. You've been very engaged. I'd love to hear what showed up for you.
I'm not going to be able to read it because I cried, and
Mhm.
I'm not used to being vulnerable, especially online. I can reach out to people. I can be an amazing resource and an amazing person that affects others' lives. I know that my presence and what I bring and how I give energy makes others happy to be around me.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me that I can be vulnerable.
Mm.
And I read it to my husband, and he was just so happy for me. It kind of reminds you that you have to do some introspection, and that's hard to do. We tend to shy away from that because then we sometimes look at all the negatives. And it was nice to look at all the positives that I could do. And sure enough, yesterday, I should put my thing down. Yesterday, instead of doom scrolling the rest of the night, I went downstairs and I worked in our basement to clean things up, and I felt empowered. I'm feeling empowered by this. And I just am so thankful to be able to be part of this and to listen and absorb. And thank you. Thank you all for sharing and being vulnerable too.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. And what an amazing, just quick shift. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do what I've done in the past. And I'm going to be, I love that you used the word empowered. That's it. That is, we can have this thing. And I had this for so long in my life of like, I didn't consciously realize I was doing, we don't consciously realize we're doing these things, but it was this almost like little girl energy of waiting for permission and not feeling like I could take action on the things I wanted to do and giving my power away. And I would wait for, I would wait for so many, I would wait for a client to pay me before I felt like I was good enough or worthy, or I would wait for them to reach out for me to feel like, yeah, my services are good. Or I would wait, I would like have an opportunity I wanted to move forward on, but then I wouldn't trust myself. And I would go ask everybody else, what do they think? And it's like, number one, so let's just lay this down right now. This is so important. This is so important. Number one, when something speaks to you that you want to take action on, like just like cleaning your basement last night, organizing your basement, right? It spoke to you, you took action, boom, you were satisfied with the result. You always know within you, it's your intuition, what the best right path is for you. When you have something that you want to take action on in your life, and instead of trusting yourself, and I'm not saying you, Brandy, specifically, I'm saying we, the collective, et cetera. So just want to clarify that. When we feel like, okay, I feel like I want to do this thing, but now I got to go talk to who? My husband, my partner, my girlfriends, my mom, my dad, whoever. And it's like, no disrespect to any of them. I would only seek number one, I would trust yourself. And that's what I do now. It's like, if I want to do something, I just make a move on it and it's good because I know that I can trust myself. And I didn't for many years, but I know that now. And that just comes with practice. But unless that person has the result that you're looking for in that area, they are not going to be able to give you any feedback that's going to be helpful. They're going to spew their limiting beliefs on you. So it's like, if you like, we're going to talk a little bit later today about our programs. And it's really just like for whoever wants to go deeper in the journey with us, we're here to support you. If someone does not have the financial result that you are looking to create, or the business or career up level that you're looking to create, why in the world would you want their perspective on whether you should take action on something with this? Because they're only going to be able to speak to you from their limited paradigm, which is the very thing that's getting them their results. So it would be like going to a doctor who was deathly ill. Right. And again, it's no disrespect to anyone in your family or circle, because I think everyone is on their own journey. But I know for me, when I was, and I'll share a little bit more of my story today, when I was feeling called to invest in myself with a mentor, and the investment felt huge to me at the time. It felt astronomical. I didn't tell anyone except I had one girlfriend who was an accountability partner, and I knew she got it because she was heavily investing in herself too. And I told her what I wanted to do and the amount. And she was like, that's stretchy. And she was like, is your intuition guiding you there? And I said, yes. She said, does it feel expansive? I said, yes. She said, follow it. Man, if she hadn't said that, we wouldn't be here today. And if I had gone to everyone else to try to get their perspective and their opinion, I would have gotten freaked out and we wouldn't be here today. So anyway, it's coming back to the vulnerability piece. Who here has had to be the person in your sphere, whether it's in your family, in your friend circle, in your company, where it's like everyone comes to you and you feel like you have to know all the answers and have it all together, and you've got to be strong all the time. We did a poll in one of my other programs a little while ago, and I had no idea. I was very intrigued by this. It was like everyone except for one was an oldest daughter. Is who in here is the oldest? And I'm curious if that's the same or not so much in this group. But it was so interesting. I am too. And that was part of just my own kind of like, and again, it's like we take this stuff on ourselves. I took it on myself. Like, I've got to know it all, be in charge, be okay, like can't crack all of it. And so part of what I love and value about this community and every member of this community is it is a safe space where now we don't trauma bond, we don't get addicted to, we don't do that, but we can be real and say, here's what's going on, help me think differently about this, help me up level this, help me. And it's a safe space for you to do that so that you can ascend. I'm seeing a number of oldest daughters in the chat. Yes. Okay, lots. Anyone else? And by the way, for everyone who's joining now, hi, we're so glad to see you. We're doing a little bit of reflection from yesterday. Does anybody else want to share what showed up for you with the journal exercise? I'd love to hear like one more. Let's see. Karen, I know you said that you resonated with what Brandy said. I don't know if you want to come off mute and share, and or if anybody else does. Let's see. Who else? I want to hear one more. Valerie, yeah.
I'll just say, like, this week I've had just with work, like it's been a little like hectic. There's been a lot going on and I've been stressed about it a little bit. And it was so helpful doing that and realizing like that didn't come up for me at all. The stuff that was taking up a lot of space in my mind when it came down to it really didn't matter. So the prioritization was really helpful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's such a game changer. It's that perspective. And that's actually when we tap into the highest and best version of ourselves. And when we learn how to shut off that animal, we don't shut it off, but when we learn how to silence and quiet down the animal part of our brain, which is in survival and fear and scarcity, and is telling us everything matters and everything's a threat, you'll realize suddenly like it gets quiet and you have that perspective and you have that clarity and that calm, and you realize all this shit I've been worried about, it doesn't matter. And that's also from that energy. If we go back to yesterday, what we were talking about, from that place, we reach that higher level emotional state of gratitude, bliss, peace, even calm. And that's actually how we start to collapse time and space with our goals, because you are a higher vibrational frequency. And again, your emotional state, that's the point of attraction for you. So we're always attracting from that state. So if you want to quantum leap your results and speed up your results and have what you thought was going to take you 10 years happen in the next 12 months or less, then so much of it is going to be you elevating your state, which Valerie and all of you who did that exercise, you probably felt last night while you were doing that, because you were like, I'm not worried about the stuff that I'm usually worried about anymore. It's so different. So I love this. I love this. Feel free to keep sharing in the chat if you have other things that showed up for you last night. Like I said, I was reading the homework in the group this morning, and I was like, man, this is beautiful. And we love hearing that from you too. But with that, we have a lot to cover. So let's get into money, all things money. Are we excited? Are we ready? We talk profitability. So the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, are going to be about money. Today, what we're going to focus on is more related to your current goal. So I want you to have in mind, what's your current financial goal that you're looking to achieve? And this can be, again, if you're in commission-based sales, and it's going to be your income, if you're an entrepreneur and it's your revenue, but what is your current monthly goal? Tomorrow, we are going to get far more expansive. We are going to kind of blow the lid off what you're thinking is currently possible for you. Like I shared yesterday, we are going to be doing a lesson on the energetics of making your annual income your monthly income. And that's only going to be there, or that's only going to be for those of you who are there live. So I want you to come live and join me and hang. And I'm going to do a deep dive with you into that. But here's where I would love to start. And I would also appreciate if you can share in the chat, because my team and I want to know what's your goal, what's your target. It helps me with customizing the content too. What is your current financial goal? So I want you to think about it this way. If there were no consequences or limitations, and we are celebrating your best year ever in the next 12 months, what is your current goal? What is your current financial goal? Let's see. There's no big or small. Mary, $1 million. Beautiful. Brooke, $60K a month. Awesome. And I want to share too, because some of the women who are typing in here, they're in our community. So they're thinking in a way where you may look at it and be like, there's no big or small. I don't care what your current goal is. If it's 5K a month, if it's 10K a month, if it's $1 million a month, this is really about what is aligned for you right now. So let's see what's showing up here. Okay. We got a lot of, okay. 40K monthly, 150 a month. I love it. Okay. 50 a month, 250 for next year and 500 the following. Beautiful. Okay. I love it. I'd like to hit 5K. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Mary, 25 per month. Amazing. This is also what, something I appreciate about this community. I had someone mirror this to me a while back, and I wasn't present to it because we talk about money so openly here, but I had someone say to me, because she hosts a group for women in financial services, and she was talking with me about coming speaking to them next year. And she was like, I can't find a place where women are talking. And again, shout out to my men who are here. I love you. You're here. It's awesome. We're celebrating you. Specific to women here, she was like, it is rare to find a place where women are talking openly about how much they want to make and supporting each other in that and celebrating that. And I think I wasn't even conscious to it because I was like, man, that's our whole thing. Like, that's what we do. But so I want to just really encourage you. Like, this is a safe space to come in and just share. And whether that number currently feels big or small or whatever to you, like, this is, we really developed this community to be a place where you can come in and be supported in that. So anyway, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. So I want you to have that number in mind today as we go. So let's talk a little bit about, I shared yesterday the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. And so today is going to be built more under that second quadrant, which was money, right? So healing relationship with money, elevating your relationship with money, getting rid of all the gunky old beliefs about money and worthiness and what's possible for you has a dramatic impact on your sales numbers. And like I said yesterday, I used to like literally just focus on the tactical. If I can close better, if I can, prospect better, if I can follow up better, blah, blah, blah. If I could like figure out the code on a webinar, then I'll hit my goal. Didn't matter what I did. I always made the same amount of money. So it's like you beat your head against a wall long enough and you realize maybe there is something else that I'm not aware of that I should be focusing on. And that's really what started my journey into neuroscience and quantum physics and the power of the subconscious mind and understanding how many limiting money programs were running my mind. So at the end of the day, selling business heavily involves money, right? And whether you are an entrepreneur and you're managing your own rates, right? You're setting your own rates and you want to charge more, but you doubt if you're worth it. Or if you're a sales professional, it's like, man, you got to hit quota. Who in here has felt that pressure of like, I got to hit quota or else, right? Like I played that game for a long time. You do need to have a very healthy relationship with money, and you will never sell beyond your current financial set point. So we're going to talk about what that is today and why. And this is why I think we're so effective with the clients who come in and really immerse themselves and go all in on the curriculum, is that we actually get under the hood of what is holding you back from hitting the sales numbers you want to hit. And again, I want to speak to like the members of our community. We have people from just starting off to very experienced, like top of their class, whether they're a successful entrepreneur or they're top of their sales team. No matter where it is, they have a desire for more. And there is nothing wrong with that. And just like we talked about at the beginning of this call, this is all about your expansion. You are wired to expand, and we want to help you do that. All right. And so we get under the hood of what is currently blocking you from expanding to the level that you want to be. And when we do this, this will free you up to have such a different experience with money, with receiving, with selling, with clients, and also just a very different experience of life. So this is where my own hangups, I'll speak a little bit to my own hangups and why I struggled so much in this area. So even when I was like doing quote unquote well, and making, low six figures. It was like 100 to maybe, I think 1 year, maybe I got close to 150, which in most people's standards, it's like, you're doing well, right? Nothing wrong with it. My life was run with money fears and anxieties. I would have obsessive thoughts about whether there was enough in the bank. I would have difficulty asking for money on sales calls. I always felt like I had to like overcome something to get money. Like where it's like overcoming objections, or, even we talked about this last month on our September event, like even the analogy of hunting when you're selling, does that rub anyone the wrong way? Like I never felt good about that, because it's what's taught in the sales, like you have to hunt, you have to kill. And I don't, no disrespect to the hunters out there, but like, I don't want to do that. It's not with people. Right. So, and so because of that, I would do okay every month, but I was always in anxiety, fear, and also nervousness about whether I could replicate the results the next month. Can anyone relate to that? I'm going to check chat real quick. Ooh, David, I love what you said. They're going to spend money with someone. Why shouldn't it? Yes. Yes. Horrible hunter and farmer. Same. Yes. What are some of, I'm saying totally, I want to hear from you all. What are some of the biggest hangups that you're currently facing when it does come to sales and money? Type in the chat. Debbie's saying, I nearly gave up when someone said I was shrewd. Yeah. Again, we want to remember anything anyone says about us, they are mirroring something they believe about them onto us. It has nothing to do with us. There's so much freedom when you realize it has nothing to do with you ever. But go ahead and type in the chat. What are some of the biggest hangups? I saw a lot of people who could relate to what I was sharing. Valerie, doubting my ability to deliver and feeling when in thought, I know that I'll deliver. Got it. Okay. So it's like, you'll deliver, but you've got a feeling of doubt in your body about that. I think if I'm understanding correctly. Karen, I see some success and get scared of being successful. Ooh, yeah. We definitely have had members of the community who used to struggle with that. Yep. We can speak to that today or tomorrow during live coaching, if you like. I'm happy to help you there. Brandy's saying, yes. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I love helping with stuff like this. Okay. Let me see one more. Had fears I will be punished somehow. Always looking for the next closing, afraid the market will change. Yeah. It's a long sales cycle. These deals take a long time. Ooh. I always ask, so it's like, we want to ask with anything, does that support you? Does that belief support you that it's got to be a long sales cycle? Right? No, I don't know about you. I have bought, well, I don't know. How long did you, I feel like you didn't take that long to invest in yourself in this community, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
I was making the decision. It was just a matter of like swallowing it and doing it after I talked to you the first time.
Yeah.
I already knew before I talked to you, I was doing it.
So is it possible that one of your clients could do the same thing?
Absolutely.
Right? Like we always want to ask, is this belief supporting me and where I want to go? Let's see here. Mary, I feel so pushy. I've been told I have to change the person's mind until they say yes. Oh yeah. And so that comes, so yeah, we could dive deep into that. So I think I don't want to work with a client where I have to like push them to work with me. So it's the concept of go where you're wanted, not where you're needed. Okay. Like, yes, I will dive deep into limiting beliefs with someone, but my people have got to want to work with me as much as I want to serve them. Like, it's got to be an even energy exchange. So you can kind of sit back more and be in your power when you're like, my clients get to rise up to my level. And if someone's not ready to do that, that's okay, but they're not my client. Right. And that's especially for any of you who in here is a coach, a consultant, anyone, I know some off camera, I think it's very powerful, energetic for you to be in, where it's like, you're not going to come down to somebody's level and feel like you have to convince. You're going to share what you have to offer from a place of power. And then you just have the knowing that those who are ready to ascend to that level are going to do it. Now, you may need to get in there with them and help them overcome the limiting beliefs, but like, it's not going to be a pulling them along type of thing. Maybe fear of what people will think of me. Okay. Yep. David, believing I have to work hard to earn success and acceptance rather than simply accepting because I'm worthy of it. I love that. Yes. We're going to talk about worthiness today. And say yes. Yeah. Yeah. Debbie's a coach. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, because that helps me kind of customize what we're going to be talking about to the group here. So let's talk about this. This is something that really freed me with money a while back. I used to think I want more money because then I'll be safe, then I'll be secure, blah, blah, blah. And I would make it just be about the money. At its core, we always want to get into the energy, the essence of what are we looking to create. So any goal that you're looking to create, whether it's a new car, a new home, a certain amount of money, the actual reason that you want it is not for the thing itself. It is for the feeling, for the emotional impact that you are anticipating you will experience as a result of having the thing. So why do we want more money or more abundance? Does anyone want to guess? Some of my people are going to know who are already in my programs, but does anyone want to pop it in the chat? What do you think? What do you think? What is at the core reason for why you actually want more money? What's the feeling? Yeah. Freedom. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Brandy, what you shared there, powerful. Worthiness will actually bring more money. So a feeling of what we're going to talk today about that, a feeling of greater worthiness will actually bring, and that's something that we work on deep with the members of our community, because most of it, especially women, have been conditioned that we're not worthy. And so we have to practice that feeling. The core emotion that we are seeking with more money is actually freedom. So it is freedom. Now, at its surface level, we think, well, I want time freedom and I want financial freedom. Yes. And on a deeper level, what you are truly seeking is the freedom to be the fullest expression of yourself. That is what you are actually wanting when you put in that goal there in the chat of, I want to make 5K a month or 150K a month or 250 a month. I don't care what, that is what you are actually seeking, is you want to show up as the fullest expression of you. Who is that landing for? Have you ever thought about it that way? I want to hear if that's, I'm seeing me. Mm-hmm. And if you're here live, if you can be on camera, I'd love to see you. It makes it so much easier. I get it if you've got stuff going on. I heard someone say this a while back and it made me laugh. It was like, when you come to a Zoom meeting and you don't have your camera on, it's like showing up in a physical meeting with a paper bag on your head. So so like, I get it if you can't, but if you can, I want to connect with you on this. So for those of you who are turning camera on, yeah, Debbie, I get it. If you need to put clothes on, that's fine. Although probably everyone who's not on camera is like half naked right now. It's all good. Okay. All right. I got derailed. Hold on. You're okay. All good. All good. All good. You've never thought of it that way. Okay. Yeah. This is really a game changer when we get this. So I actually want to invite you to reflect on this for a minute. What would ultimate freedom, what would showing up as the fullest expression of yourself look like right now in your life? Take a minute and reflect. And I'd love if someone would be willing to come off mute and share what shows up for you with that. I'm realizing how much I suppress being myself. Oh my gosh. We'll help you. Yeah. We've been taught that we have to. And we don't realize that that actually stunts the amount of money we allow ourselves to bring in too. Money is always for your expansion and fullest expression. So when we are okay with fully expressing, when we are okay with expanding into the fullest version of us, it becomes a very different dynamic with money and a very different flow with money, because now money is no longer God or source. Money is a tool that we can use to express as the fullest versions of ourselves in our lives. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's see here. Kayla, complete choice without limitations. Yes, I love that. You can have that.
Elise, can I add something?
You know what? I was going to call on you. Perfect. Go for it. Yes. Thanks for coming on camera.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to change from my iPad to my computer. So
okay, perfect.
Honestly, I have been doing a lot of mindset work over the last 3 months or so. I had been in a program previously and they talked about mindset and I was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I don't need to do any of that. And I've had this revelation that I got popular, and it's not even that popular, but it's popular for me. So I hit 400 people on Facebook, 300 something on Instagram. LinkedIn is my moneymaker, and I am over 800 connections on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I got scared. And so now, what would it be the fullest expression of myself? Just being me. I'm afraid to be me right now because I'm afraid that once people see the real me, they're not going to like me. And so the mindset work now has been forgiveness, a lot of forgiveness. I'm okay. Yeah. People do like me for me. And even if they don't, that's fine. They're not meant to work with me. And that's completely okay. And that was something that has been very hard to just accept and be okay with. So,
oh, gosh, yeah. Good for you for that awareness. Good for you. And this is something that, that we work on with the women in our community and programs too, because we don't stay in the trauma. We don't stay in the wound. It's not therapy. It's coaching and ascension. And there are things that we are not aware are throttling our ability to sell and to earn and receive at the level we desire to, such as, Karen, what you shared there. And that is not only in your own lived experience, that is also epigenetics. That is the witch wound. That's something that we pass on from generations. So that's something that we actually help clear up and heal, because if you have a belief that it's not safe to be seen, that it's not safe to be visible, you will hold back. We had a client, I shared this story last month. We had a client in our community who is in financial services and very good at what she does. And she was, I think, new-ish in her company, wanted to go for a promotion, like a next level up promotion that would double her income. And when she came into our community, she shared, she was like, I want this, but I haven't applied for it. Like, I'm holding back. And she said, I don't know why. And she just happened to, in passing, share a story that she was also a spin instructor. And so she's in great shape. And when she said, when I go to spin class and I'm a participant, there's a leaderboard at the top of the room where you can see everyone's score. And she said, when I get to second place, I don't speed down, or I don't speed up. I slow down. And she was like, why? That doesn't make any sense. But then she thought about it and she was like, what would it mean and how many eyes would be on me and how uncomfortable would I be if I were number one? So when we did the work, the inner work for her to just clear that and start feeling very safe and comfortable and confident being number one, and realizing that other people's opinions have nothing to do with her, she applied for the promotion and in 3 weeks doubled her income in 3 weeks of coming in. So it's like that. So really good awareness, like really, really good awareness. Let's see here. Yeah, I agree, David. Was decades of not actually knowing myself, displeasing others, or believing I must for their wishes for the sake of someone. Oh, well, you're in the right place again. And it is never too late. It is never too late. I love you. So that's my mama. So I'm sorry, mama. I'm not calling you out. But I love you, and we've got you. So, okay. So let's do this. So let's talk about, I've got these 3 keys to elevating the amount of money, to receive the amount of money that you actually desire. Okay. Would that be helpful? Do we want to learn these? Do we want to talk about these? I think they're going to speak to a fair number of the challenges that you all shared earlier. I'm going to have to get through these relatively quickly. So team, hold me accountable. What time is it? Let me see how much I have to, I've got a lot to share. Okay. We need to be through these in probably 15 minutes max, 10, 15 minutes. Okay. So if I'm like just pontificating here, stop me and let me know. All right, let's get into it. Okay, here we go. 1 second. I want to turn on my screen. Play from start. Oh no, I don't want from the start. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, just a second. Boom, boom. Okay. Let's talk money. Sec, share screen. Okay, can you all see my screen okay? We good? Okay. All right, so let's talk about these beautiful keys. So for those of you who are type A, I understand this dollar bill is backwards. It did a weird translation on the slide. I can't figure out how to reverse it. It is what it is. So we're just gonna roll with it here. Okay, let's talk about this first. Money at its core is energy. It is energy. It is energy and circulation. So when we think about energy as circulation, this is something that helped me really change the limiting beliefs I was holding on to with money and shift my dynamic. Because who here right now finds yourself getting in your head about like, is there going to be enough next? It doesn't matter how much is in the bank or how much you're making. Is there going to be enough next week, next month? Like, what if I spend it all? What if it doesn't come back? You know, we have so we get in our heads about this. When I learned, and again, I studied people who had very healthy money relationships because I didn't have one. And this comes back to what I said before. When you hire a mentor, work with a mentor where you want to learn how they think. So that's how I work with my mentors now. And that's how I decide to invest in myself is I want somebody's results. So I need to learn how they think. And I heard this again and again and again. And at first it like really didn't, I was like, nah, that's too easy. But guess what? This is actually the truth of it. So when you start to think of money as circulation and as breath, you can think about it like water. Like if you wanted more water right now, you'd probably just go turn on the faucet and get more water, and you wouldn't worry about whether there was going to be more water later. No, I'm not saying that that's the experience for everybody on the planet. I'm assuming that's the experience for us on this call. Okay. So you can think about it like that. You can think about it like breath, but it is meant to circulate. And when you shift it, and this is part of what we talked about yesterday with tapping into the present and learning to live in the present moment versus future tripping or being caught in the past. When we're in the present, it's literally like you need a breath, you inhale, and now you exhale because you no longer need what that is. You know, you've got the oxygen, now you're releasing. And you're not even consciously thinking about, am I going to be able to inhale again? You just do it. You just receive the air when you need it. And when we exhale, are we freaking out about, is there going to be more air? Right? Am I worthy of another breath? No, we just are. It just is. So when we're in this flow, and this was what really started to change things for me. When I started to think of money as circulation and an inhale and an exhale, and the energy all along the way is trust, worthiness, which again, we teach you how to align with those vibrations in our programs, gratitude, empowerment, right? Brandy, you used that word before, sufficiency, love, and peace. Then we just allow it to circulate in our lives. And it just is, and it's always there. Now let's talk about what can kink the flow, because we can kink the flow, and we do unintentionally. When you remember that your desires are green lights, and this is something we were talking about, I think on our 50K call this past week, that your desires are of the divine. This is what I believe. Your desires are the divine, God, source, universe, whatever word you want to use, Harold, expressing through you for your expansion. Your job is to follow those. But if you have a desire for something and it comes through and you judge it, or you hold back on it, or you make yourself wrong for it, you will kink the flow. Making client source, or making your job source if you're in corporate. I wrote this down on a Post-it the other day, and I've just been looking at it and like feeling into it and loving it. And so I used the word God. You can use whatever word resonates for you. But I said, God is my safety and security. Other people are there for me to love and serve. That's everyone in my life. Clients, partner, kids, people I meet on the street, you. Like, you're not my source. Many of you are my clients. I love you. You're not my source, right? I love and serve you. It's different. And I want you to think about right now, if you changed your dynamic with clients or with your job and started thinking about it like that, how would that shift for you? How much more easily could you sit back and really evaluate, is this person a good fit to work with me? Can I help them? Do I want to work with them? Right? Unworthiness will kink the flow. We're going to talk about that more in a minute, because that's kind of its own separate thing. Making money source. Okay. So if you say, I have a desire and I cannot take action because I don't have the money, you have just made money source. Okay. Money is there for your expansion and your fullest expression. And if you want to know how to get it to come in greater quantities, keep saying yes to the things that expand you. All right. It is, when we make money, I love this song. There's a Tony Jones song, who was the artist we were listening to at the beginning. And she says, money worships me. And I remember the first time I heard that, there was something in me that was like, ooh, could it? Does it? But I started playing with that belief and started writing letters to money. Like, yeah, like, and as the energy of, if money worshiped me, what would I be doing and saying right now? How would I be feeling? So when we make money the master and us the servant, we've flipped it and it won't come. Okay. So it is there for you to expand. And Bob Proctor, he always talked about, you love people and you use money. So that's the energy we want to be in with it. Not trusting yourself. That kind of ties in with the first one of holding back, waiting to take action until you have the money. Money does not, we don't have time to get into a lot of this today, but this is subconscious. And this is also quantum physics. When you have something you want to do that's going to expand you, number one, you will almost never have the money for something that's actually going to expand you. So even like when I share our programs, if you look at them and you're like, those are really easy investments. Like, I don't like, if you're like, man, that's like a drop in the bucket. I mean, number one, cool. And that's great. Most people are in that scenario. what I have found is that if I make an investment in myself and it doesn't stretch me to make the investment, I don't really get much value out of it because I don't take it seriously. But the way that money works is that it doesn't come until after you have made the committed decision. So this is neuroscience. Your subconscious mind is designed to get you whatever it is that you have decided you are going to have. That's how it works. But until you have decided, which means burn the ships, non-negotiable, it's happening, i.e., I'm putting down a deposit, or I'm booking the trip, or I'm purchasing the hotel, or I don't know, doing whatever, proposing, right? Like until you have decided, that doesn't really have much to do with money, but well, it could if you've got to buy a ring, right? But until you have decided, the subconscious mind will not go to work giving you ideas of actions you could take to create the funds and resources until you have given it a firm non-negotiable that this is happening. Because it doesn't have to. It's an energy conservation machine. But once you decide, then the money comes. It's just like when we just bought a house a couple months ago. I wasn't planning on buying a house, hadn't been saving up for a house. I'm not going to get into the why and the how. But I decided that I was going to buy a house because my family had to move to Maine unexpectedly, and I didn't want to move my kids around anymore. And it wasn't until I had decided and said, yes, this is happening. And then the whole thing turned into a bit of an interesting experience of I had to bring double the initial down payment than I thought I was going to bring when I had first said yes. And we got into escrow and all of it. But from that place of decision, I attracted the ideas and the opportunities and the money to help me receive what I needed to be able to make the down payment and get in. But I had to decide first. And it was hella uncomfortable. I will tell you that. I had to defy a lot of my money rules, my quote unquote old money rules, to do that. And even when I invested in coaching in a way that really up leveled me and helped me turn my annual income into my monthly income, I didn't have the money for it. Once I decided, I found a way. Okay. Thinking you have to know how. This is also huge. So how comes after you make the decision. So the way to get to the how is you just choose and you make the decision. And I find too that sometimes women will come into our community, or men will come into our community and say like, oh, well, I need to know more. I need to know how before I can invest in myself or do this or that. No, you just need to decide. And then the how comes. So, and then not taking intuitively guided action. One of the things, and I see this happen often, is someone will have a nudge for something and they'll say, yes, like I know in my soul, in my heart, I want to do this. I want to move forward on this. But guess how it works? Your intuition always gets there first, but your intuition is never going to guide you to the quote unquote safe, responsible, I'm using air quotes, easy, I'm saying Brooke nodding, choice. It's going to guide you to the choice that is actually going to get you where you want to go. All right. It's going to guide you to the thing that's going to expand you and get you to your vision. However, it will not make logical sense. It will often require that you do things that are very stretchy and uncomfortable. It's like Steve Jobs said, you will only be able to connect the dots looking backwards. But your brain will tell you, intuition gets there first, and it can even be nanoseconds. Your brain will tell you, oh, who are you to do that? Or, oh, you shouldn't invest that much, or you can't make that much, or who are you to think you're going to show up on Facebook and do a live like that? Like people are going to judge you, right? And I'm kind of like pulling it. It isn't just with money. It's all the different ways in which our brain will kick in and give us limiting beliefs about what we say we want to do. If you listen to those, if you buy into those, number one, they're lies. Any thought that you have that triggers a negative emotion in your body, it is not truth. I want you to really hear this. Like really hear this. There is a brain-body connection where our thoughts trigger chemical reactions in our body that we experience as emotions. Anytime you are feeling a negative emotion in your body, it is tied to a thought that you are thinking that is not actually true for you. Okay. So when we doubt, like Valerie, you shared before, I'm seeing you on camera, so I'm going to, at least when you doubt, can I actually deliver on this? How does that feel in your body? It doesn't feel good, right? You feel that feeling of doubt. So that's your body's way of saying, this is not true. And it's so empowering when we can just remember that. I tell my clients, only listen to your thoughts when you're feeling good. It gets real trippy when you start to practice this in real life, but we only want to listen to our thoughts and believe our thoughts when we are feeling good, because guess what? Your thoughts are programs that were put in you by other people. Now you get to choose a new thought. Okay. Man, I could go on and on about, I'm like already at time. Okay. Hold on. We're going to keep going. Let's talk about worthiness. You have to feel worthy. And I want to add this in, it's not on the slide, worthy and safe to receive. Okay. Worthy and safe to receive. So this is like Karen was talking before about like, ooh, what happens if I'm more successful? All right. So worthy and safe. Your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. The thing that helped me finally get unstuck from not making more than 10,000 to 12,000 a month for over a decade, it was not a strategy. It was, I finally felt worthy of what I wanted. Okay. I'm like, man, do we have time for some money blocks? I don't know. Maybe we'll come back. Someone remind me at the end, if we have more time, we'll come back and we'll work on some money blocks. I do want to work on those with you, but I got to keep going for time. But if one of my team members can remember, and or anyone who's here and is like, yeah, I want to work on money blocks, remind me at the end if we have time. Otherwise we can do it tomorrow. But let me stop this share for a second. Laura, can I share a little bit about your quantum leap tied with worthiness? Is that okay? So Laura, who's here on my team, by the way, we're not planning to match every day. We're just clearly in sync and it's happening. We literally yesterday, we looked at each other and we were like, we look like the same person. And I said, well, I know what I'm wearing tomorrow, but I'm not going to tell you because I want to see if you show up like me. We got on a team meeting this morning and she was like, no, you're not wearing red too. So anyway, that's the vibe. But yeah, Laura, do you want to take and we got to keep it brief. Do you want to take 1 minute and talk about kind of your journey on worthiness and what happened to your income when you practiced embodying worthiness in our programs? Can you just take a second and share?
Yeah. You can hear me okay?
Yeah. You're great.
Yeah. I actually did an exercise. I had, the corporate space, I managed sales teams, and I was in a space where I was a sales producer working with high net worth clients. And I remember listening to Elise for the first time and going, man, I love what this woman is sharing. And how do I work with her? How do I work with her company? And I literally went through my resume and I was picking apart all the things that I had done. And I just remember going, why the hell am I right here, right now? I'm doing all the things. I'm my boss is like, I need you to train people. And I'm on a sales role. Well, sure. Yeah, I can do that. That's fine. That's easy. That's easy enough. I need you to lead our pipeline calls. Sure, I could do that. And I'm like, I'm not getting paid for any of this. Why am I doing this? I'm giving all of my power away. And so it was, I'm like, again, it was just this, going within myself too, and seeing, wow, I have so much more worth than what I'm, what I'm giving myself credit for here. And so literally I had 3 jobs that I ever wanted appear in front of me. One of them I wasn't even expecting, and I doubled my income. And I was like, and that's not easy to do in corporate. I'm making a high 6-figure salary. And I just remember feeling like that doesn't happen, but it happened for me. And it just made me believe, no, we can have the things we want. And then since then created multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah. And you all have gotten the opportunity to connect with Laura some this week, which is beautiful. Also, I want to Kayla, if you don't mind, I just want to give a quick shout out to you because you weren't on camera yesterday when I was introducing you. I'm just going to take a moment, then we'll get back into money and worthiness. Her name is Elise Archer on this call, but she's Kayla. If you want to raise your hand. Kayla is amazing. Many of you have probably heard from her throughout the week. It's like, I can't even put what you do for us in one role. She's technically executive assistant, but she helps our clients with everything. She's phenomenal. She does, for those of you who are going to be coming into our community, she does our client onboarding calls. She checks in on you. She helps take care of you. She is just like, she's amazing. She's a warrior mama. She's got the two cutest little kiddos. And I would definitely like follow her on Instagram too, to see her journey with her kids. And she's amazing. So I wanted to give you a shout out now that you're on camera. And she's incredible and we love her. So we have the best team. I'm so lucky to work with the best team in the world. Okay. And thank you, Laura, for sharing that. So I want to just say, with our client testimonial yesterday too, you may think like, oh, I could only double my income if I'm an entrepreneur. Nope. Like you can quantum leap regardless of what your scenario is, where you're coming from. You have to just buy into the belief for yourself. So let's do this. I want to share, let's see here. Oh, I want to share one other thing about worthiness. Then I'm going to share a final piece, the third of the keys, and then I'm going to take you through a visualization. So on the worthiness front, I struggled in this area for so long, and I didn't even realize all the ways it was manifesting in my life. Everything from number one, like staying stuck at the same financial level, getting into relationships that weren't healthy or weren't good for me, downplaying myself. I had no idea how it was, just how pervasive that belief of I am not worthy was in my life. And when I really quantum leaped, and this was just 3 years ago now, not even quite 3 years ago now. And I made the decision that it was when I turned 35, and I was like, I'm done playing small. I'm ready to experience the fullness of who I am. I was guided intuitively to make a $50,000 investment in myself in coaching when I had made 100 the year before. Didn't have the money, felt petrifying. But it was in that moment of deciding that I am worthy of investing in myself in this way. And I didn't tell my mentor this at the time, but I was like, it doesn't even matter what I learn in this, because the way I'm going to have to show up differently and start seeing myself differently as someone who is worthy to be supported and to receive at this level, that's going to be the transformation. And so that decision catapulted a kind of a string of incidents in my life. But I was forced to come face to face with every limiting belief I had about worthiness and what I was capable of and what was possible for me. But as I started to practice feeling worthy and take action as someone who was worthy, it shifted. So again, our money, our clients, our bank accounts are only going to mirror back to us how worthy we feel that we are. So it's an inside out type of game. This is why that money pillar is in the big three of the 4 quadrants of sales, of quantum sales growth. Let's talk about the third, then we'll do a visualization. Okay. Can we see my screen? Okay. All right. Let's talk about aligning with bigger and bigger numbers. Who would like to align with bigger and bigger numbers and feel more comfortable and confident with bigger and bigger numbers, right? So I said this earlier, but this is so true. You will never sell more than your financial set point will allow. So this is why, if you look back, and unless you're in the quantum leaping journey, and I know some of you in here are on that journey, and that's beautiful. But if you're not, and if you haven't been intentional about it, you have very likely consistently made the same amount for quite a period of time. And it may have grown incrementally, but this is why someone can have a corporate job and go become an entrepreneur, and they make the exact same amount as an entrepreneur that they did in corporate. I did that for a long time. You will typically earn within about 3% of what you saw your parents make. So you are programmed to earn a certain amount every month. Now, are you earning what you would like? And is that program what you want it to be? You literally just have to reprogram yourself. Again, the job of the subconscious mind is to make the programs the reality. So if you want to make 150 a month or 50 a month, all you need to do is install a new program that you make that amount per month. Okay. And that's part of what we help our clients do. And this, it ties in with the client yesterday who did the client spotlight. It's like she was doing all the right things, right? But couldn't sell beyond what would get her to that total amount of 12,500 a month. And when she learned how to up level her financial set point and make the number she actually wanted feel smaller, she's now doing between 20 to 30 a month in just a couple months. So this is part of the power of being in a group of people and individuals who are going for numbers that other people may say, oh, that is big, or that's impossible, or whatever that is. And this is for me, I had to normalize wanting more because I was surrounded by a lot of people who were making the same amount as me. And they thought what I was doing was a lot. So I had to kick myself out of my comfort zone and get in a community. For me, it was a community of other women who were also going for 7 figures, where it was like, that's nothing. Right. But for me at the time, it felt like a lot. So I had to start listening to other people talk about those numbers in a different way. All right. So let's do a visualization. I'm going to stop my share. Okay. How are we doing? I know I'm like a little bit beyond on time where I wanted to be, but it's okay. I want to take you through this. Okay. Are we doing well? Let's do a quick check-in. Thank you for all of you who put your cameras on. If you're not, again, just like give me a thumbs up if you can, or like we doing well? Is this resonating? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take you through a brief visualization to help you align with some bigger numbers. So I want you to hold in mind as we do this, the number that you typed in the chat, whatever your goal is for the next 12 months, your sales or your revenue goal. Okay. So closing your eyes, let's just get grounded. Taking some deep breaths. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. You may want to put your hand on your heart. Connect back with that energy center that we connected with yesterday. Another deep breath in through your nose, circulating it in through your heart. And exhale out through your mouth. Keep breathing deeply. And I want you to remember how powerful you are. And I want you to remember that every result in your life, in your physical 3D world, is just an out picturing of what you've already created in your mind and in your heart. And if there's a result that we don't love, we just pick something new. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Another deep breath in through your heart. And out through your mouth. And with that in mind, I want you to tune into what is the result you would love to create in the next 12 months? What is that number that you would love to be bringing in consistently on a monthly basis? Breathing it in and exhaling. And taking yourself now, the screen of your mind, to the place where it's done. It happened. You did it. You received it. And I want you to see who's around you. What are they saying? How are they feeling? I want you to hear them telling you how proud they are of you and how grateful they are that you went for it, that you chose to stop playing small and say yes. Notice yourself. Where are you? How are you dressed? What kind of car are you driving? What are the feelings in your body? Peace, ease, relaxation, worthiness, allowing, knowingness. Who is benefiting? What's your legacy that you're leaving? And I want you to go find a mirror on the wall and look yourself in the eyes. Tell yourself how proud you are of yourself, that you went for it, that you did it, that you took the inspired action, that you said yes, that you believed in yourself, that you dropped the old stories, that you decided to think about yourself and your impact and your purpose in a much bigger way. Feel that love for yourself. Feel that appreciation for yourself. Feel that respect for yourself. Feel that honoring of yourself, your desires, trusting yourself. And now from this place, you're available to keep elevating to higher and higher levels in your life, your impact, and your purpose. Take another deep breath in, all the way up. Hold it at the top. And release. Saying to yourself, I'm proud of you. I love you. You did it. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back into this moment. How was that? Did we feel it? I'm seeing some smiles, yeah. So that is, I mean, look, there's more to it than just that, but like really you starting to go there and just, I just don't want to say there's more to it than that. When you start to embody that version of you that you connected with just now, when you realize that you are her or you are him, that's when it happens. Okay? And it's already there. Like it's already there. anything that you can visualize for yourself, anything that you can see for yourself, anything that you can imagine for yourself. The only reason you can is because you actually have the ability to create it, and to create it now. So what are you waiting for? Okay. So let's take a bit of time and talk about, for those of you who are resonating with this and are interested in going deeper, I'll share a little bit more about the programs we have open for enrollment right now and how to connect if you'd like more details. Again, tomorrow, like we're still going tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to do a much deeper dive into expanding that money energy for you. But I wanted to share this now because we do also have some things literally going on today for those of you who want more support. So if you're resonating with this and you're like, yeah, I'm resonating, I'm curious to know what it would be like to get more support, just type a 1 in the chat. We just want to see like who this is resonating with so we can help support. Awesome. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to share what we have. And these are really beautiful spirit-led programs. And we've got a number of our community members on here already. And I love seeing you. Like, I love seeing you. There's women in the community who are like, you're already raise your hand if you're already in one of our programs too, because I'm like, man, I love seeing yeah, awesome. Awesome. We love you so much. And, it is my life's work, and the team who I get to do this with is just incredible to help support you on implementing and applying what we've been talking about so far. And so here is what I know is true, is when we come into an environment like this and we're here for a couple of days together, it can be real feel good, right? And you're like, I'm getting some ideas, I'm getting some inspiration, I feel better. If you don't have a way of actually implementing and continuing the transformation on your own, not on your own, after we complete, it doesn't stick. All right. So we're always going to default back to our old conditioning and programming. And so what I'm going to share with you here is if you desire to actually not just understand this and experience this in these 3 days, but really live this and have the type of transformations that you've heard about in literally just a couple days, then my team and I would love to support you in that. And so I'll share a little bit about what that looks like. So I will say, I'll say a couple things. One, in terms of how our programs work. So we take what we talked about, and this was like a tip of the iceberg this past couple days ago. We'll keep going deeper tomorrow, but it's really the tip of the iceberg. But we take what we're talking about here and actually help you implement it and live it. You know, I love what our client spotlight said yesterday when she said, I embodied it, because that's actually where the transformation takes place. I'm seeing Debbie nodding your head, right? And I know you're such a deep diver and you go in and you do all the things. And so we interviewed you last month, like you quantum leaped really fast too. And it's about embodying it and deciding to be it. And so that's what our programs are about, is helping you actually live this material to transform your life. So I always laugh. Like I told you all yesterday, I was doing this interview for a very like tactical strategic sales book. And that was how I built my career early on. I got known in the sales world for like being a sales coach. And I taught all the strategy and the tactical stuff. And like I said, when that was all I knew, I did okay, but I didn't do my life was nowhere near where it is right now. And when I discovered those big 3, the mind over matter piece, the money piece, and then the integrating masculine and feminine, which like we barely talked about these past couple of days, that was what created the quantum leap. And so yesterday when this person was interviewing me and he was like, what are the top 3 things that every new rep should know in a sales role? And I was like, he said, I don't want to like disappoint you with my answers here, but what I want to teach and what I do teach goes so much deeper than that. And yet still we are known in the sales world and we support you in the sales world. And so we absolutely I'm actually going to take you inside today. Would anyone like to see inside the 10K training suite for a second? I've never done that on a call before, but I felt inspired to do it earlier. So I'll take you inside and show you. So we do teach all the method pieces, but it's all layered on top of that foundation of the big three. Okay. So the mind over matter, reprogramming your subconscious, all of that identity work, money, like all things money, wealth consciousness, deservedness, how to receive what you want. And then integrating the masculine and feminine so that you can rise up and ascend to the level you want to ascend to from a place of ease and allowing it. It will actually feel so much easier than what you're doing right now. And so we build that foundation for you where then you've got clarity, you've got order, you've got non-resistance, and you can expand into what you really want. Something else that I think is really important is we teach this concept of selling from wholeness. So the way I used to approach goals is I will be good when, right? I'm only good when I hit this target. You will, number one, it'll take you a long time to get there. You won't enjoy the process and it will be a moving target. You will never feel like you've actually achieved anything if we do that. So this concept of selling from wholeness, we are going to get you to a place where you are so proud of yourself and so in love with yourself and who you are in your life. And you're literally living a life that feels so good and fulfilling to you. And then from that place, we expand. We expand financially, we expand career-wise, whether that's you want to go for the promotion, you want to launch your own company, you want to double your monthly revenue, 10x your monthly revenue, but we're doing it from that foundation of wholeness, which is going to be a very different experience. And I recognize and understand that who here is in the corporate world right now where you're like working on a team where you're like, there's goals and targets. So Brooke raised your hand. Yeah. I was like, Brandy, I felt like you, because you're in finance, right? Am I remembering correctly? Okay. So I understand that this is not what is going to be mirrored in most people's working environments. And so it's very different, right? Like, Brooke, did you have a different experience when you came in and you're like, this is very different from how I've been taught goal setting? And you can either come off. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but it was like different in the best way possible. I knew I was going to sign up. I signed up and I was like, oh, I'm doing a whole different level of work than I thought I was coming to do. And I'm so glad that I'm doing it. And like, even just being like, a lot of like sales cultures are very masculine and there's so many men in there and there's not a lot of women, and just like having a community of women doing the same things, talking about the same things, and like thinking the way that I'm thinking now is like so valuable. And having like women to bounce ideas off of, like, that is one of the things that, I might not have talked about before, but I just like, I can't even put a dollar sign on the value that I get out of that, because it's something I've never had in like my previous experiences up until the point that I said yes to myself and I got involved with a group of women who are going for an up level and doing more than just, and doing it in a different way. So
yeah,
a few little notes.
I love it.
Not signing up, like that's what you also get.
But so I love that, Brooke. And I want to speak to like, what do we require from our clients and how do you know if you would be a good fit? Because I think this is really important too. Because we do have a certain type of client that we really want to work with in our program. So number one, Brooke was an example when she shared this, like yes, 100% all of this, like ready for transformation. Okay. Ready there. I have found that the women who get the best and fastest results are the ones who actually take seriously what we've been talking about these past couple of days and are like, I'm done playing small. Like, I'm just done. Who remember that no one is coming to give you permission to make the money you want to make, have the career you want to have the life you want to have, and that you have to be the one to do it for you. And there has to be a level of firmness and decisiveness. Like we said before, the subconscious it only kicks in when you're like, no, this is happening. So when you decide, I am ready to choose a different reality for myself. I am ready to choose a community that's going to support me in this. I am ready to choose a different experience of money, of clients, of sales, and be ready to really live the type of life that if you did the homework last night that you journaled about, right? Like if you had a year left, what would life be like? Like that's what we want to get you. Okay. You need to be empowered. You need to be decisive and take action, willing to show up for yourself and others and embody the information. Be coachable. I think one thing that's great about this community is like, you don't have to have it all together. You don't have to be perfect. How many women in here had a belief that to be safe or okay in the world, I have to be perfect? Like almost everyone has that belief. You don't. So when I say all this, I don't mean you have to come in and be like star student and do all the right things. No, you just have to be committed to yourself. You have to be committed that you're going to come in and get the information and get the coaching and receive the up level. All right. You don't have to be, perfect. It doesn't exist. I mean, I think we're all perfect. Like at the end of the day, I think we're all perfect, but we don't do things from a place of perfectionism. So you get to come in and be like, I'm bumping up against this. Here's a challenge. Here's an issue. So that's what we're here for. But we need that energy behind you of like, no, I'm self-accountable. And I want this, right? I want this transformation. You don't have to know the steps. You just need to know you want it. So we have 2 beautiful signature programs for female entrepreneurs and sales professionals. And I'll give a quick note for my men who are here on the call. We love you. I do work with a number of men in private coaching. And in fact, David, you shared your testimonial yesterday, which I appreciated, by the way, and you've been a private client. I hope you don't mind me saying. So if you were listening to this or watching the replay and you're a man and you want support, reach out. I love supporting men. And we also work with sales teams, and not everything we do is female specific. However, what I want to speak to today are these 2 programs that are specifically for women in sales and entrepreneurs as well. So our first program is the 10K Club. And this is our signature group program for women who are ready to break 6 figures. And you can be an entrepreneur or a sales professional. It is a 12-month, beautiful, transformational journey. Who here has done, everyone who's been a client has done 10K Club. Yeah. So it's sometimes women come in and they like quickly go into 50K, but a lot of women will also start at 10K, and that's beautiful. So a 12-month experience. There's twice monthly live coaching calls. I do training on those calls. And then we also do quite a bit of custom implementation and coaching, like one-on-one coaching support on those calls. They are group calls, but we're working together one-on-one. We have a really robust, beautiful training suite, which I'll show you in a second. And it does a deep dive into all 4 of the quadrants of quantum sales growth. And you can literally just be like listening to that, rewiring your mind, getting new ideas, embodying your highest self all day long. You get a ticket to our next retreat, and those retreats are life-changing and beautiful. And it's a couple of days together of deep diving. We've done the past several in Sedona. You may have seen them on social. Was anyone here? Laura, you were in Sedona. Mary, you were at our first Sedona retreat. Has anybody else? I don't think anyone else who I see here live has done a retreat. We pour into you. It's VIP. It's beautiful. And then you also have an incredible community of women to do this with. I'm going to share my screen. Let me share my screen really quick here and show you a little bit behind the scenes in the training suite. So this has been built out literally over years. Can you all see that okay? So this is what you get like right away when you enroll. And so we take you on a journey. A lot of women, like literally we've got some new women in now who have been doing the pre-work and are like, holy crap, I had no idea it was going to kick in that fast. So we have you do some pre-work. And again, this is all self-paced. It's not a race, but I just wanted to show you. And then we take you on these, on this journey. I honestly don't even know how many modules are in here. Like it's a lot of different modules. We take people because in each of these, there's different trainings, like money. There's quite a bit here as well. And so you heard yesterday, the client spotlight, she was just literally like listening to the money trainings on repeat again and again and again. We talked a little bit about time. Like if this is a deep dive, feminine time mastery, into what we talked about yesterday with those 4 cycles. And actually November in 10K Club is all about that. So we're going way deeper. And then we get into more of the tactical sales process too. So this is a master sales process workshop. We talk about prospecting, lead gen. I was looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize we had some of this stuff in here. Let me see if this is, I don't know where it is, but there was something where we had all these great DM templates. And I was like, man, these are really good to use. I forgot we had those. So there is so much content in here. And then bonus tools and trainings as well. You also, I'm going to stop my share. You also get, we have 2 other programs that we bundle in with this too. One of them is a lot of tactical sales training. So it's like, it's time, but it's also objection handling, closing. So all of that is in there for you. But again, we're layering it on this deeper dive into the 3 fundamental areas of quantum sales growth. And then we also give you a course on how to energetically release resistance to your next level. And it's life-changing. Like it is life-changing. Valerie, you're saying I spend at least half an hour in these each morning. My day goes so much better the days I do it versus the days I wake up late and skip it. Oh my gosh. Yes. It's like, thank you for sharing that. And it doesn't have to take that long either, right? Like I really believe you can, so we'll speak to time in a second. What you will learn will get you so much time back in your day. So sometimes people will say, oh, I want to do this, but what's the excuse? I don't have the time. Guess what? You're fiddling away a lot of time anyway right now. Like, well, let's just be real. And what would it be like if you actually invested in yourself throughout the day? And you can listen to this while you're doing other stuff. Listen to it while you're working out. Listen to it while you're walking the dog. Listen to it while you're washing the dishes. I don't care. You're doing other stuff anyway. So Valerie, you're saying my day goes smoother and my priorities are more aligned. Yes, because we waste so much when we're not in alignment. One of the modules in here that I didn't spend a lot of time on, but literally we teach you how to align with the version of you who has your end result. So we're literally going to help you create a new identity. What are the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs so that you can embody that version of you who has the end result accomplished? And can you imagine if you went to work every day as that person, as that version of you, not worrying about the nitty gritty, not getting caught up in drama, not wasting time worrying whether a client likes you or not, or you had an argument with your spouse or whatever, like if you were actually focused on your goal and your vision. We're also going to teach you how to set goals in a massively expansive way. And I think what's really beautiful about this program is the way that it's structured. And our intention is we aim to get you to 10K months in about 90 days. Like that's the structure of it. It is a 12-month program because everyone is on their own journey. And if you are doing the program and you're showing up on the calls and you're doing the thing, and at the end of 12 months, you're not at your 10K month, it's okay. We're going to keep working with you until you get there and you don't have to pay more or re-enroll, which I think is really beautiful. So it's like literally the guarantee is we will help you get to your 10K month. We just need you to show up and be coachable. All right. So for anyone who is looking where that's the next level goal, 10K months, I don't know of anything else out there like that. And we poured big time into you. I will say with this program, we do have women in here who are already at the 10K level and beyond. I'm going to share about the our mastermind in a second, which is for women who are beyond 6 figures. But we also have women where they're like, you know what? I'm at 100 already. I'm at 150. I'm at 250, whatever. But the 10K club is resonating. Awesome. We build everything off of these principles and you can apply it to making $1 million. Like it doesn't really matter. We just kind of segment it out this way so women can see what place they align with most easily. But yeah, so that's the 10K. What is Debbie saying? I give these modules my full attention and I can't wait to do them. Amazing content. It changes you. I love that, Debbie. I love that. Yeah. And you literally came in and you were like, I'm going to have a 10K month. And you just had a 10K month, like 11K month. Right. And you've had several. You're amazing. So that's 10K. And the page for that, I'm actually going to do another screen share real quick and just show you. The page for that is elisearcher.com/10K club. So you can see that. And you'll see on our pages, I'm going to speak to our mastermind in a second, But on both the 10K Club page and the mastermind page, it gives you the option to enroll directly through the page or to book a call. So my team and I have opened up time for application calls now, like today through next Wednesday. So if you're like me and you're like, I don't really want to have a call, I just want to do, like, I know if something's speaking to me, I just want to do it. We give you that option on the page. And that you just literally click join now, and it'll take you to the enrollment page. We do have a payment plan as well. So if you want to do paid in full, you save some money. If you want to do payment plan, you got that option as well. What we do, but however, if you want to have a call with us to talk through the programs and what would be the best fit for you, that's great too. And you can book a call directly on the page. So we give you that option as well. What else was I going to say about 10K? I feel like there was something else. We've got some bonuses right now that I'll speak to in a second, but I want to share the mastermind first. So the other option would be our 50K club. Who in here is a 50Ker? I see, or has been a 50Ker. Brooke is off camera, but yeah, Mary, Debbie, yes, absolutely. Speak it into existence. I love it. So these programs are both like my heart. When I think about like the energy in 50K, it lights me up. It expands me. The women who are in this community in this program are absolutely phenomenal. So this is our mastermind. It's our high level mastermind. You do need to already be at the 6-figure level, and or you're starting to have your 10K month. So it's like you're on track for that. With this community and this program, this is a place where women come together, and it's all about you scaling to multi 6 or 7 figures. So 50K plus months. And it's absolutely beautiful. You get everything that's in 10K. So you get all of that. You also receive 2 additional calls a month. You get a private intensive with me. On the additional calls, I will often bring in guest mentors. These people are incredible. These are some of the like literally people who I personally have invested 6 figures, multi 6 figures to work with, where you would have to pay a lot of money to have them come in and train you. They are experts in money, mindset, manifestations, like spirituality. We go over all of it. It's beautiful. So you have access to work with them on these calls, and it's really, really powerful. You have an additional retreat. So we do a 50K club retreat. The next one up will be in January. So if you apply and are accepted now, you can join us in January for the retreat. What else do we do? Oh, and we have a beautiful shared chat. So you get more access to me and to the other women too. So we use an app. Oh my gosh, Brooke, your little is so sweet. Hi, buddy. I have such kid distraction. We use an app called Marco Polo. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has ever used Marco Polo, but we have a group chat going. Debbie's saying, yeah, we have a group chat going between calls where women will. It's such a great group. They'll come in, they'll be like, here's what's showing up for me. Here's what I'm bumping up against. Here's a celebration. Here's a win. We're doing a book study together in there. And so we're in there like daily communicating, connecting. It's so powerful. And you really, I think what's beautiful is like, you don't have to go it alone for any of this. So that is, that's 50K Club. And that one is elisearcher.com/50K Club. If that's you and that's speaking to you and you want to apply for that program. One thing I will say with these, before I share about the bonuses we're doing right now, we care so much about your success and also alignment. And so again, you have the option in these programs to go ahead and enroll directly. If you enroll, you'll fill out a form when you enroll. If we take a look at it and for any reason we think we're not going to be able to get you where you want to go, or it's just not a good, we'll just say, we'll let you know, and we'll say, hey, we don't think it's a great fit, blah, 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 give you your money back, not a big deal. But I do say, like, if you are ready to up level, if this is speaking to you, if you check the boxes of the things I said before, you want to be in one of these programs. And if you're not sure either how to make it work, or you're not sure what the right fit is for you, you can book a call. Laura, would you please pop both the program pages in the chat? And then if you can also pop the 7 Figures funding link in the chat. I'll talk in a minute about some of the things that show up where women are like, oh, I want to do it, but I don't have the money. We have a beautiful funding partner where they can help you with the resources for that. And so if you want to get in these programs and receive your up level, and have the transformation and have us help you, but you're not sure how you're going to get the money, we have a funding partner called 7 Figures Funding. It does not touch your credit for them to do a pre-qual on you and tell you what you could qualify for. And they do specifically personal development coaching. They are great. Personal development coaching funding. So yeah, thank you, Laura. So we've got all the links in there. So bonuses. So what we are doing, and this is where if you're live, well done, because you're going to know about this before everybody else. But if this is speaking to you and you want to be part of what we're doing and part of the family and our community and continue your journey with us, for women who enroll today before midnight Eastern, we are bundling in our Create Your Quantum Leap course. It's a $777 program, and it's all about the energetics of quantum leaping. And it is a transformational program. We are also hosting a live workshop coming up in just a couple of weeks, all about the impression of increase and how to use that to generate more sales and to magnetically attract more clients. You'll get access to that. Let's see. So that's for women who enroll by tonight at midnight Eastern. If you enroll by Monday at midnight Eastern, you don't get the course, the Create Your Quantum Leap course, the $700 one, but you do get the workshop. So we'll do that. We also have a paid in full bonus. So obviously if a payment plan makes it more accessible, do that, like get yourself in. But if you want to do the paid in full, you'll save some money. And we will also bundle in a private 1-hour coaching session with me, which is a pretty big value as well. So that's that. So the next steps, if that is speaking to you, if any of that is speaking to you and resonating, would be to either enroll directly through the program pages, or if you want to hop on a call, book a call. Laura, actually, please do go ahead. And if you can put the program call application links in the chat. We do a different one for 10K versus 50K. So just book the call on the one that's resonating most with you. We ask you some questions that are specific to those programs on there. And I will say, when you're filling it out, the call spots can fill up pretty fast. Save your answers so that if you fill out the whole thing and then somebody else grabs that call time, that you don't have to like go back and redo your work. So just like copy and paste it in a doc. So that's, yeah. So Laura just posted the 50K one. And again, I literally have some time this afternoon. And then I think we opened up a couple times this weekend and early next week as well for calls. So let's talk through a little bit. And if you have questions too, you can type them in the chat or raise your hand and I'll know. We'll answer some program questions tomorrow as well. So I can go through more tomorrow, but I can obviously answer questions right now if you have any questions on anything we talked about. So just again, raise your hand or type the question in the chat. I will speak to some of the most common things that can show up when women are considering investing in themselves, when anyone's considering investing in themselves. I'd say number one, I want to do it. I don't have the money, right? The most obvious one. Of course you don't. Okay. Of course. Number one, you probably actually do when you're telling yourself you don't. Like you probably have it somewhere, whether it's on a credit card, a savings account, you're probably just telling yourself you don't have the money. But let's talk about that one, okay? Number one, these programs are all about you making more money, which is the exact reason why you should be in the program. Give me a second for a water break. A good rule of thumb is invest 5 to 10% of what you want to make in coaching and personal development. That is why when I said I want to make 7 figures and the person I wanted to work with said it's $50,000 to work with me for 6 months, I was like, crap, but okay. Jenny is saying repost or forward the 7-figure funding. Like I'm sure Laura can pop that for you. So you should invest 5 to 10% of what you want to make in coaching and use that rule to help you. And again, whether it's me and our team, or if there's another mentor who resonates more with you, like I want you to work in the program that's best for you. I'm saying if this is resonating and you want to be on our level and get the support, this is how I would do it. And I would get in one of the programs. Let's see. I shared with you about this before, but for me, when I invested in myself in a way that stretched me, I didn't know how I was going to pay for it. All I knew was I had enough to put the deposit on a credit card. I was like, I'll figure out the rest as I go. But because I said yes, and the deposit for the thing I did was 20,000. So it wasn't like no money. But because I said yes and said I'm worthy of it and said I am doing this and I'm done playing small, from that energy of it's happening, suddenly I started attracting ideas, opportunities, things I could do to create the resources that I actually wanted for my up level. So it will only happen after you make a committed decision. All right. And again, if it's resonating with you and you're like, I know I need to do this, I don't know the how, book a call. We do not strong arm anyone into working with us. Okay. That's not how we roll. But if it's aligned and you're like, man, I want this, I just need help figuring out the money, book a call. We'll help you think through it. Okay. David is saying, speaking from experience, saying, I don't have the money to invest in myself, is really saying I'm not worth the investment. Yes. And didn't you tell me that when you invested in private with me, that was like, for you, you were like, I am worthy of this. And that actually like helped you. You can come off mute and share anything if you want, or just not. Yeah, that's, but I remember you saying that. Go ahead.
No, you pretty much got it. And sorry for all the dings. I don't have everything muted on my machine right now, but
Okay.
no, the first time I made the investment for us to start working together, and this is going back several years, it was honestly terrifying. It just did not feel good, to write a check. It's something, investing in myself was a foreign concept. I had certainly done some, maybe some reading or like an online course thinking, well, that's investing, but this gets really personal and deep, focused just on you. And that can feel uncomfortable. And I can tell you, in dealings with Elise, she has a great way of, even through the glass of your computer screen, penetrating through and making you feel a little bit uncomfortable, because she's shining light into areas that you necessarily, don't want to go. But in doing that, there's so much growth, so much transformation. Like she talks a lot about, like where you want to go and how to get there. I can tell you, when I first started working with her, I really wanted to do sales consulting, and it's still something that's on the radar for things for me to do, but it was really more about monetary success. And through that, I have backed my way into a book that was originally meant to be more of just kind of a how-to pamphlet. It's now a 150-page book that I'm going to be self-publishing within another probably month to month and a half. And I will certainly share links. I want the world to know about this.
Yes.
I'm working on a nonprofit, to help, people, help, provide funding for their pets, when they can't, help cover the cost of medical expenses, because I've been blessed with many pets that lived, almost 20 years, and I want to be able to help others, do things like that. So there's so many different aspects that I was thinking so small before. And once I broke out of that mindset, and trust me, I still have struggles with that. I still need refreshers. That's why I'm here, these 3 days, to kind of help get grounded, realigned for next year. But it's amazing the possibility you see when you start realizing that I'm worth this and start accepting it in. It just, really expands your mind. So
Wow. Thank you so much. I had forgotten about your nonprofit too. That's
Yep.
oh my gosh, that's amazing. I hope this comes across as humor as it's meant to be. Like if I come back in another life, I like want to be your pet, because your pets live forever.
If only that were the case, but I appreciate it.
I know, but that's amazing. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Debbie, go ahead. You said you wanted to add something in there. Go ahead.
Just a tiny little something that happened for me when I made the decision to enroll in 10K. I just remember how I started doing new accounting. So I was looking at what am I bringing in, for my business. But then I started to really also do this new accounting of what am I manifesting that is really worth a lot of money. I manifested a business loan. I manifested free care for, someone that I needed support with. So when I did the accounting at the end of the month, basically, the value was about $40,000. And when you start to think that way, you feel into your power way beyond what you thought you were imagining for your business. You start to see there's, at least this has been my experience, there's so much more coming my way than I was documenting and being grateful for. If I have a new vision of what my real life accounting is, I'm richer, shall we say, than I ever was noticing.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's so beautiful. I hadn't heard you even share all of that, but it's so true because we talk about like money is one channel. There's a lot of different ways to bring in that up level. And a lot of times you will, because you're elevating, you'll attract free things, new opportunities, discounts. Like it's amazing how it works. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'll speak to just a couple more things and then I'm going to give you the homework for today and I'll share with you what to expect for tomorrow. So sometimes people too will say like, well, I love this. This is resonating, but like, I'm already in coaching. I'm working with another coach. I would say a couple things to that. One, do you go to one doctor for every medical need? Like I'm usually working with multiple coaches. And if something resonates with me, I don't let it stop me because I'm already working with another coach. I say, if this is resonating with me, then it's going to help me expand. So I'm going to invest in myself. If you have ever been in coaching and you had a negative experience, I would say that is the equivalent of going out to eat at one restaurant and saying, well, I didn't like eating at that restaurant, so I'm never going to go out and eat again. You just go to a different restaurant. It doesn't mean all restaurants are bad, right? And then I think the other one about time, right? Like I don't have the time. Everything that we do is about helping you multiply your time. You do have the time. And in fact, what would it be like for you if your 10-year goal manifested in a year and you saved that much time? What would that be like? What would you do with all that extra time? I don't work full work days. The women in our community, like we got a lot of things going on. A lot of us have babies. We got like everyone on my team is a mama. We got different stuff going on. This is not about adding more things onto your plate. It's about helping you get way more strategic and aligned so that you can get way bigger results out of less. I think the kind of the bottom line here, and then I'll share the homework and we'll talk about tomorrow. I think the bottom line is it's fear at the end of the day. And our brain will tell us all these things like, oh, I want to do it, but I don't have the money or I don't have the time or I need to wait for this or that. There's never going to be a perfect time. You're never going to have a load of money just sitting around for coaching. If you do, great, call me, but you very likely won't. And I thought about this. There can also be the fear of like, at its core is, well, what if I take action and what? I mess up. It doesn't work. I put my family in financial jeopardy, right? So I was reflecting on this the other day. I want you to actually flip it because your brain will go to that. That is not, I don't think you can do this without your brain telling you all those things. Anytime you're in an up level, your brain will tell you why you shouldn't. I thought about this the other day. When I was investing in myself in a way that felt quite scary and stretchy, my brain did tell me all those things. I was the breadwinner. Like it all fell on me. And I was like, if I can't figure this out, I got a husband, I got a kid, like that's, and they're depending on me. If I had not done that, if I had not invested in myself, I would not have been able to retire my husband so that he could go to medical school. Is there anyone in here who would love to retire their partner or help their partner have more freedom so they can do what they want? I wouldn't have been able to do that. We wouldn't have bought the RV that's like really fun and we travel around the country in and have a great time in. We wouldn't have been able to move into the house that we're in. Our kids wouldn't have the life they have. We wouldn't be able to travel the way we do and have the experiences we have. We wouldn't have been able to give the way we give. We give a ton of money away every year. So I want you to actually flip it and say, what's the best thing that could happen? What is the best thing that could happen? This is one of my, she's not on today. I'm going to go like a minute or two late today. So if you all can bear with me, I do want to give the homework. one of our other community members is a woman named Christy Hunter Arscott. She's been a private client. And she talks about reframing risk-taking for women from, what if I take this, something to the effect of like, I'm about to take a risk, to, ooh, what would it be like for me to make this bold move? And just that shift in perspective. I am worthy of making this bold move for. It's a powerful one. It's a powerful one. So with that, we would love to support you. And I think the thing I would have you reflect on is, if the fear is, if you want to do it, but your fear is telling you you can't, or it's scary or whatever, or your family is gonna, you're gonna hurt your family, whatever. How are your family and kids not benefiting right now because you aren't showing up at the level that you say you want to be at? It's not about guilt. It's not about shame. It's not about making yourself wrong. But it's about realizing that there's nothing that helps anybody else about you staying small. And that when your family, your kids, your friends, your loved ones, they see you expand. David, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I remember you telling me about, I think, a neighbor who saw what you were doing and how you were expanding and was so inspired by you, right? It's like you inspire others when you do that. And you help other people elevate as well. So again, flip it. What's the best that could happen? And then we go there. What if it all worked out? So let's do this. So again, if you want to book a call with me and the team, Laura, do you mind just repopping all the links in, unless they're like at the, if you can repop the links at the bottom, that would be great. So we've got the program pages, we've got the call links. And then also we'll have the 7 Figures funding link in there for any of you who want to apply through them. It takes like 3 minutes. It's fast, easy. They'll let you know what you can qualify for if you need to use them. What was I going to say? We do have some time for calls shortly here. So if you want to book a call, we can get something scheduled and talk through it with you. And we do have the bonuses. Again, so today, for anyone who does say yes to themselves and enroll today by midnight, you'll get that $777 course. And you'll also get the Impression of Increase workshop that we're doing, which is a beautiful workshop. Our current clients will be on that too. All right, homework for today. I want you to journal and or video. Okay. Why is now the time for me to step up and start receiving the amount of monthly income or revenue that I want? Who is going to benefit and how? Let me actually share my screen so you all can see that and you can grab it. Kayla will pop it too in the Facebook group. Let me grab this for you really quick. Hold on. Coming back up. All right. Awesome. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. Okay. So this is your homework. So tomorrow, I feel like today's Thursday. It's Friday. That's why I keep getting messed up on the days. Tomorrow's Saturday. We're meeting again tomorrow. If you want to be entered to win the bonus prize drawing, which is the private coaching call with me, show up live, do the homework tonight, share your homework in the Facebook group. And I'm excited to see the clarity that comes from you reflecting on this. And really realizing, again, you're the only one who can give yourself permission to receive that at that level. Tomorrow is going to be all about, I haven't read the book by Ryan Serhant, but he talks about big money energy. Tomorrow is going to be that. So we'll be doing the secret lesson on on the energetics of turning your annual income into your monthly income. There will be way more time than there has been on these past 2 days for live coaching support and implementation of what we talked about these past few days. If you have questions on anything that we talked about, Laura on my team will be reaching out to quite a few of you. I will be reaching out to some of you, but if you have questions on anything we talked about these past few days, go ahead and email. Let's see, I'd say shoot Laura a question if you have questions on the programs, Laura@elisearcher.com. If you have questions about like logistics, anything tomorrow, you can email Kayla@elisearcher.com, and we are here for you. Have we had a good day? I'm going to stop my screen share now. Have we had a good day? Have we had you all are amazing. I love spending this time with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to see you tomorrow. It's going to be so fun. Thank you for being here. And this was really, really beautiful. All right. Mwah. Lots of love. See you all tomorrow. Bye.